Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Running back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at my Week 11 predictions and see how I did, and then we're going to take a look at who I predict for Week 12. Week 11, I went 11-3, which I think is really good. But yeah, let's take a look at the games that I got wrong, like we always do, and see what I did wrong. Pittsburgh versus Cleveland. I thought without Deshaun Watson, this team could. I thought Pittsburgh could win. I didn't think. But I really thought Pittsburgh could win this game. I knew it was going to be a close game. I really thought it was. But Myles Garrett went off and played an amazing defense, and DTR had a solid game. So yeah, Los Angeles Chargers versus Green Bay. I thought Green Bay was just not looking that good, and I thought that Chargers could take advantage of that. And then the final game that I get wrong, and I said this in the video, the only way that the Giants will win this game is if they played amazing defense. And you know what? I was right. They had 6 turnovers. Had an amazing defensive game, forced the ball out a lot. A lot of their touchdowns were basically just kind of in a sense given to them. They were in a lot of them. A lot of them were turnovers in the offensive zone. It seems like they didn't really have to do a lot of like movement and stuff, which is probably one of the biggest factors for this team. But yeah, that was the only games we got wrong. Let's take a look at my Week 12 predictions and see. You have three Thursday games, which is for Thanksgiving. First game, we got Green Bay, Detroit. I have Detroit winning. Detroit's been on a really good streak recently. Squeaked a win out this last week against the Bears, but I think this week they're going to come in a lot better and a lot stronger against this Green Bay team. They've been really dominant. Washington versus Dallas. I have Dallas winning after that terrible game defensively. Offensively by Washington. I don't think that they're going to be able to stop Dallas, who's been on a hot streak and have been great against these terrible teams. San Francisco versus Seattle. I think that lost last week to the Rams. I think San Francisco is going to win, especially after their dominant performance prior. Miami versus Jets. I do think the Jets are going to be not good for the rest of the season unless Aaron Rodgers comes back, because you need that leadership, that veteran leadership. And yes, I know they switch quarterbacks, but still, that's a really hard thing to do for this offense, is to switch a quarterback, and play well. This team is a solid team, and this team does have potential, but I don't see it. We have New Orleans versus Atlanta. I feel like New Orleans will pull out this win against Atlanta. Atlanta, yes. I think we'll have about. I'm trying to think. But I feel like Atlanta is not that good, especially with not knowing who their quarterback of the future is going to be. With Heineke having been up there in age, yeah, he's not extremely old, but I don't see Heineke as like a long term. I find Heineke as a placeholder. Possibly within 2 years they'll get a quarterback, maybe Ewers, maybe Yard. Because they're not gonna. Doesn't seem like right now they're gonna get the first overall pick in this year's first or second pick in the draft, and you want a young quarterback. You don't want one of those older quarterbacks. Like Bo Nix is a quarterback that should start their rookie year, but they can't, and you shouldn't have a team that develops around him. Okay. Pittsburgh versus Cincinnati. I have Pittsburgh winning because with Cincinnati not having Joe Burrow, this team is not as dominant of a force without Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow affects this offense in so many ways. Jacksonville versus Houston. I originally was thinking of saying Houston because it is in Houston, but as we've seen before, this Jacksonville team likes to get hot late in the season and likes to be dominant. I think this is going to be the start of it after last week's dominant performance. Proving that they're not this team of old, but I think Jacksonville will pull out a big win over Houston. Tampa Bay versus Indianapolis. This might be a close game and could go to Indianapolis, but I do think Tampa Bay could pull this out with the amazing weapons surrounded on that Tampa Bay offense and the solid defense that the Tampa Bay team has. New England versus Giants. I think after that huge reckoning performance against a team that recently hasn't been performing, a lot of turnovers, will definitely show that this team could end up turning out having an amazing game against this New England team, who's been having a struggle at quarterback with different, having Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones play. It's going to be really difficult because this is who's probably going to get the second overall pick. second or first overall pick, depending on how Carolina plays. But in the next game, I do have Carolina beating Tennessee. Tennessee does not look like the Tennessee of old. I think Tennessee is just not going to win this game. I feel like Carolina, if you put them in this right position, and they haven't been playing the best of teams this season, but they've also haven't been playing the worst of teams in a sense. But yeah, Rams versus Cardinals. I do think Rams can pull this out, but I don't know. It all depends on how the receivers play in this game and how they go with it all. Denver versus Denver versus Browns. I feel like Denver's on this really good hot streak, and I think that this streak could continue. You know, this team, this is going to be a very, I think this is going to be a very low scoring game with two solid defenses. You know, the upfront ability of this Browns defense is great and amazing, but I don't know what I don't think that Trista can stop this Broncos team. Chiefs versus Raiders. I think Chiefs can win this. Raiders did put up a really good fight against the Dolphins, but I still think the Chiefs can win this game. Um, Bills versus Eagles. I have Eagles winning, even though Bills had an amazing week last week against the Jets. I don't think that this uh, Bills team can stop this amazing team by the Eagles, who had an amazing game this prior week against the Chiefs. You know, and not I should say maybe a good second half against the Chiefs. We have Ravens versus Chargers. I do have Ravens winning this. Chargers just aren't looking like a good team. They look like a team that's just been like Chargers of consistency when Rivers was there. You know, where you have a quarterback that is the quarterback of the future, that on many other teams would be a franchise QB. So you're going to keep him as a franchise QB, but you're not going to, you know, he's not going to take you to the Super Bowl, it doesn't seem like, unless you guys get weapons around him. And especially with Joey Bosa probably being out for the rest of the season. Definitely being out for this game. You have Bears versus Vikings. I have Vikings winning. Bears did put a great performance against the Lions, but Vikings have been looking pretty good. Josh Dobbs is showing great performances, and especially since maybe this week Justin Jefferson will come back, being that it's the last game of the week, and he's been iffy for the past 2 weeks. He's been like, he's not fully up to speed. He doesn't want to go in. Last week was he just wasn't fully up to speed. He's able to play, but they don't want to put him in because he's not going to be as fast and as good as he normally is. So maybe after almost over a full week from the last time said, he'll be able to come back healthy and be as physical of a presence as he always is. So yeah, guys, that's my week 12 predictions. Let me know how you guys think I did. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, peace.